So here is a look at how I imagine the Star Wars timeline would play out if Anakin survived Episode 6. So first and foremost, Anakin Skywalker would have to face trial for all of his crimes as Darth Vader. He would plead guilty and willingly give information that would help the rebels finish off the Empire. This would not make up for his crimes, but it would be a beginning to making things right. Thankfully, the respect and reputation Luke had gained through the war would give him a large voice into his father's fate. It would not be easy or well received by the general public, but Luke would secure a deal where Anakin would be exiled far from the New Republic, but he would be able to be free. This would force Luke to build his new Jedi Order far away from the New Republic if he wanted his father to be involved. But Anakin assured him that distancing the Jedi from politics was a good thing. Anakin's experience with the old Jedi Order would give Luke insights and cautions into this new age of Jedi. And before heading off to begin training new Jedi, Anakin would take Luke to places like Coruscant and Naboo so that Luke could learn more about his mother Padme, the one who Anakin deeply missed. Luke and Anakin would take a few students and establish a new Jedi temple, somewhere unknown to the rest of the galaxy. This new Jedi Order would need time. It would need time to build a solid foundation before they could again take the mantle of peacekeepers again. Much like the canon timeline, though, Leia would not forgive Anakin as easily. In fact, Anakin's involvement in Luke's Jedi Order would ultimately work against him. The New Republic trusted Luke Skywalker, but with Vader involved in the New Order, many citizens of the New Republic were skeptical of the Jedi, just like Leia was skeptical of Vader. Because of Leia's distrust of Vader, Luke and her relationship would be strained, and they would go for a long time without speaking to each other. Despite Luke's request, Leia refused to begin her own training as a Jedi. She would instead devote her time to working with the New Republic. As the years passed, Anakin would regain a connection to the light side of the Force. He would spend time with Obi-Wan and Yoda. Kenobi and Yoda were able to see past Anakin's betrayal. They saw Palpatine's hold over him. They understood the corruption of the dark side. And with a newfound connection to the life-giving light side of the Force, Anakin's wounds from Mustafar would begin to heal, and he would become less and less dependent on his modified suit. He would also grow in power, finally fulfilling his role as the Chosen One. His powers would even grow beyond Master Yoda's. This time, Anakin's pride would be in check. He was humbled by his fall to the dark side. He knew that power was not the way anymore, and he taught that to Luke's students. Luke and Anakin's Jedi Order would exist in peace for over 10 years following the events of Return of the Jedi. But the redeemed Anakin Skywalker would soon face his old master again. Hints of Darth Sidious's survival would begin to plague Anakin. The very dreams that haunted him as a young Jedi Knight would make their way back into his life. Only this time they were dreams of his son's new Jedi Order being destroyed. Now at this point in our story, Luke and Anakin have started their new Jedi Order separate from the New Republic, in part because very few within the New Republic wanted anything to do with the man who was once Vader. But Luke and Anakin also saw the need for a new Jedi Order to grow away from politics that plagued the Jedi Order of the previous Republic. Anakin would provide Grandmaster Luke with wisdom and insight that was crucial in building this new order of guardians of peace and justice. Over the years, the new order would grow and train some of the best Jedi to live, but nearly 10 years after the defeat of Emperor Palpatine, Anakin would begin to see his old master in his dreams. These dreams would show Palpatine destroying Luke and his Jedi Order, but Anakin would be wiser this time. He recognized that these dreams were a product of the dark side. In secret, Anakin would travel to the New Republic capital where he would be able to access old Empire databases. He would comb through the old Empire contingencies, looking for anything on Palpatine. Finally, he would find a file that outlined a plan by Palpatine to perfect the cloning process in Force-sensitive beings. Very quickly, Anakin was able to put the pieces together and discover that his old master had set up a facility on the planet Exegol. Anakin would know that the Sith Wayfinder he once possessed on Mustafar was key to finding a clear path to this planet. So rather than Kylo Ren arriving at the ruins of Vader's castle, it would be Anakin himself to return to this castle for the Wayfinder. He would easily uncover the Wayfinder and begin his journey to Exegol. Landing on the ancient Sith planet, Anakin would feel the presence of his old master. He would then send his tracking signal to Luke, instructing him to bring the Jedi and alert the New Republic. Luke would follow these instructions, and though it would take some convincing, Leia would agree to send a fleet along with the Jedi to Exegol. Anakin looked around at statues of Sith Lords long dead. Anakin would look at these monuments of beings who devoted their whole lives to achieving immortality, yet none of them were here. After all these years, Anakin was finally confident that the dark side offered nothing but empty promises. He would enter a large room with a throne in the middle. On the throne was a dark figure, a feeble creature that Anakin recognized as his old master. He approached Palpatine, who would greet him as an old friend. The old man was decrepit and seemingly powerless. Just like the original timeline, Palpatine had succeeded in transferring his spirit to a clone body, and this clone body was crumbling under the power of Palpatine's spirit. He needed a stronger host. Rather than seek Ben Solo or Rey, occupying the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker's body, would be the perfect solution. Palpatine would attempt to coax Anakin into striking him down, and for a brief moment Anakin would be tempted to do so, but he was stronger and wiser now. He would not fall to the lies of the Sith. Anakin looked at Palpatine and told the feeble man that he would never be anything more than a parasite, searching for power and never being satisfied. At this moment, Luke and the New Republic fleet arrived on Exegol. Palpatine would attempt to send his many Star Destroyers towards the fleet, but they would be so caught off guard the New Republic would have no problem destroying most of the ships before they could even take off. Luke and the other Jedi would join Anakin in Palpatine's throne room. Luke would rush to his father's side to face Palpatine. And in desperation, Palpatine would say everything he could to turn the Skywalkers against each other. But just like before, nothing worked. Because Anakin had distanced himself so far from the dark side, he would lead the others in trying to capture Palpatine, rather than kill him. But the Sith Lord would fight back. Even in his weakened state, he was able to send a deadly bolt of lightning toward Luke. But Anakin quickly stepped in front of his son, blocking the lightning and sending it back to Palpatine. Very soon it was over, and Palpatine's shriveled body, along with his spirit, was no more. For good this time. Anakin's deeds would earn him just enough credibility within the New Republic that they would allow him to come out of exile. Leia and her father would begin to mend their relationship, and she would even introduce Anakin to her Force-sensitive son, Ben. Keeping to the ideal that the Jedi shouldn't meddle in politics, Luke would remain on a distant world with his order. But he would always remain in contact. If there was ever a need, the new Guardians of Peace and Justice, led by Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker, would be there. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this story. I think it's really interesting to imagine if Anakin had lived after the return of the Jedi. It would have been so cool to see his influence on Luke and Leia as their father and how their relationship could have developed. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and may the Force be with you.